Hey, it worked that time.
All right. Good for you. Anyway. Yeah, Tomb of Annihilation stuff. So, last time we picked up from the TPKO that happened in the party's offensive against the Yuan Ti under Schultz or under Omu. Meanwhile, Sadie is launching an offensive against her bed as she drags it across the room and possibly even out the door if she keeps going that way. But anyway, yeah, the party charged in thinking that they had the support of a group of Red Wizards of Thay, a bunch of kind of morally dubious, in retrospect, scholarly types that had agreed to help them claim the last puzzle cube needed to get into the tomb of the Nine Gods from these snake people. However, after they did make themselves useful for a little bit, like, they helped kill a Hydra, they kind of just left you guys hanging. And so you all got overrun by the Yuan Ti, captured, and nearly just put to work, kind of in like a slave capacity, but for the ever running mouth of Lucius, who who decided it would be a good idea to basically just info dump the first important looking snake person that came in to talk to you guys. Luckily, that was a decent person to info dump to, and you were eventually connected with Fenthaza, the priestess of Dendar the Night Serpent, and kind of a more traditionalist Yuan Ti who isn't super happy with the way things are being run around here by apparently the long thought dead necromancer Ras Nasi, who has somehow joined them and taken up the mantle of leadership. So, long story short, after an already long story, you revealed to her that the death curse is a thing and how it works. She saw an opportunity, and she told you all to make a distraction when you get sent out for your slave duties. So, make a distraction you did. You fucked up the bath area, and the nests, and the storeroom, and what was left of the already exploded poison lab. And it's almost right after you all kind of reunited in the storeroom with one door barricaded and the other kind of bottlenecked so that you had an advantage that we pick things up. So, first of all, I think we start this episode or this session through the eyes of an as yet unseen character, kind of forcing and squeezing their way through a narrow kind of stone passageway, only about like the width of their body. And as they do and kind of work a little bit closer to the light at the end of this proverbial tunnel, the rest of the group sees movement up on the ceiling. Phil, as you emerge, what do they see?
Well, so I'm about a 4-foot tall plant being with ferns sticking out of everywhere on my body. Think of this like facial hair for a plant, and then there's just like a ton of plant leafage, and then darker plant leafage in the shapes of like tattoos and stuff. And I'm carrying a spear, and my head is a bowl, like a garlic bowl. Not actually garlic, but it looks like that.
So basically, you're looking at a kind of slightly oversized Vegapygmy.
I'm like, yeah, is this a Vegapygmy?
Yes.
Absolutely. And yeah, so you see a Vegapygmy pop out of the ceiling, and meanwhile we still hear like the thumping of the Yuan Ti at the barred doors to the south of the room. Yeah, Vegapygmy, I guess I will call you.
My name is.
Go. So what does it do?
Do I see them?
Yeah, you'd like pop your head out and see that there's like the door is being kind of beaten in slowly, and you see a group of look like outsiders from your perspective. I mean, they certainly don't look like they're from around here. There is a goblin, a horned person, so a tiefling, a really tall, vaguely elven-looking lady with a pink pixie cut, a blue lady, and a badass, heavily armed dwarf.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
All right.
It's quite the group.
So where I am, is this like my home or just a random corridor? Like, what am I doing here?
So, the snake people have been, like, carving their way into this part of, like, the area under the city. You live in a mossy, kind of overgrown cave not too far from here, and so you've kind of learned the network of cracks and fissures and stuff to navigate and occasionally sneak in and cause a little bit of trouble with the snake folk.
Okay, so they're breaking through the door. Are there like a lot of cracks? Are they almost through, or is it just like they're beating on it?
For now, they're just beating on it, but it does sound like there's a lot of them trying to get in.
Huh. Alright, well, I let them beat on it, and do I have any traps or anything? Well, there's not much I can do.
You're feeling real crazy. If you're feeling real crazy, I think you do have a skill that could... Well, actually... Hold on. Maybe not, because they are snake peoples, yeah?
Can I think they're snake people, right?
Yeah.
I think I can drop a shatter right outside the door.
Hmm. Okay.
What kind of damage is shatter?
Thunder.
Thunder? I can make it max. I can use a channel divinity.
Make it big.
Okay.
So the 20 feet. So I guess everyone within 20 feet of, I don't know, 10 feet off of that door down the hall.
Okay. Cool.
Like 24 or 12, depending on their save.
Okay. So, let's see. You'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right. All right. So, overall, not too great on the saves. So, you hear this loud bang on the other side of the door. Like it drowns out even all the sounds of everything thumping against the door as it just and it gets a lot quieter over there all of a sudden. As a lot of these things seem to be kind of like staggered or maybe even just blown apart entirely. But yeah, eventually the thumping picks back up and the door starts to give. Is there anything else? I guess anybody who hasn't done anything in this round kind of is there anything you want to do?
I'll use that new shield that I found and yell at them to leave while they still can.
Okay.
Just one last time. This is their last one.
Okay. So the voice of Thorv, the dwarf, just like booms out like he's speaking through a PA system as the shield magnifies everything that he has to say. amplifies it, I suppose would be a good word. And make an intimidation check. Why not?
Should it be with advantage after I just slaughtered a bunch of them? And it's loud.
I think that'll affect the DC, but
I guess not necessarily slaughtered. Injured. Only injured. Oh no.
Okay.
Dwarves not very scary today.
Yeah, so they keep banging away at the door. They're like getting through now. You can see there's like visible slats missing from the wooden door.
Oh, is there?
You can see them cantrips.
With question, through Stratos, how deep are they? Because I've got Stratos on that side.
Yeah. You want like in feet, in units? In, like, what do you
Just
think?
how many deep are they? Like, are they just fucking packed in good?
It's pretty dense, yeah.
All right. Well, I guess.
I mean, I hit quite a few of them on my thing that it's only, 4 squares deep, so.
All right. I'll look to Cyrenny and I'll say that was good, but check this out. And I am going to drop a 4th level fireball on them. Because it's
Okay.
just a point within range, and the other side of the door is within range.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and like technically you can even see some of the area back there now, so it's
Yeah.
totally a thing you can do. Okay. So the ones that are already beaten up just get incinerated. I mean, no save necessary. There's just like charred remains littering the other side of the door.
And I'm
along
basically
with
just
the,
dropping
like,
it on the big
pulverized ones.
concentration.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. So the damaged ones go down easy. The rest, yeah, I mean, they're either fully gone or kind of barely hanging on. And they continue like filtering in, like they just have this kind of frenzied need to get in after you guys at the moment. But yeah. Anybody else want to do anything this turn?
I am having a hard time picturing what's happening, to be honest. But if I can just do a chill touch of something. I'll
Yeah,
do
so
that.
basically you're in a room, there's a set of double wooden doors that they're beating in trying to get in at you guys.
We do have
because-
them barricaded.
Yes, because you forced him back from the other way in, which is the bottleneck. So yeah,
Okay.
you can definitely chill touch.
Okay, yeah, I'll just.
Okay.
Aren't we just essentially bottlenecking them from the other side now?
Yeah. It's
Pretty
just double
much,
door.
yeah.
I feel like this is a bad tactical
They're not that smart.
maneuver.
On their
For
part.
us?
Yeah.
Oh,
Moving from a bottleneck where they got decimated to another bottleneck.
Well, see, the thing is though, and you'll see this in a second. Like, it definitely opens up more here than it does in the straightaway hallway that goes like 25 feet of single file. But yeah. So okay, chill touch. You hit somebody, and yeah, that one actually goes down. So there's just this pile of dead snake people on the other side of the door. Really, the only ones that are still up and fighting are like the big tanky dudes that were like keeping watch over you as prisoners and stuff, and they're just blind rage laying into the door, probably about to get through, but you've whittled them down enough that it's not a super huge concern. Let's see. In the meantime, you would probably hear. You'd hear
Where's-
some.
Where's Azaka and
Bag of Nails?
Bag of Nails, yeah.
Well, what I was about to say is you'd probably hear the sounds of fighting from somewhere down the now open bottlenecked hallway.
All right. Do we see anything?
Not yet.
All right. Stratos is gonna go investigate it.
Okay, so Stratos pulls back from the pretty much decimated force on the other side of the door,
Mm-hmm.
swoops back around, and a little bit of exploring later, you find Azaka and Bag of Nails kind of down in the area that sat between the baths and the nest area. This like wooden platform that kind of wraps around a chamber, in the middle of which is just this deep pit that, looking down through Stratos's perception, you see is totally just a big fucking pit full of snakes. And you see two feline humanoids fighting their way through a wave of the the most human-looking Yuan-Ti, the ones that just kind of look like scaly people.
Okay.
And yeah, they seem to be holding their own, although it's
Stratos is no questions asked. He's going in and zapping whatever he can. He's gonna help.
okay.
And I'm gonna start
So-
shouting out orders and directions as to where to go. And I'll say that Azaka and Bag of Nails are in trouble.
Hmm.
So.
Okay.
So I guess we start unplugging the bottleneck, uncorking it.
I mean, we could probably just scramble over the bodies.
That's probably valid. I mean, you'd like drag away probably the front line that was the most piled up, and then just kind of climb through the rest. Okay, so in the meantime, yeah, as Stratos is kind of giving support and whatever,
Yeah,
you
wherever
would
he's.
hear one of the.
Oh, I just said wherever he's needed most.
Yeah, okay. You would see one of the Yuan-Ti kind of reach out in that familiar gesturing kind of way and try and cast a spell on Azaka, who, yeah, when the spell finishes, she like turns and levels her bow at Bag of Nails.
Shit. Alright. So, Stratos is going straight for whatever the one that cast a spell on her. Then,
Okay.
and
Cool. So I think this is probably a part where I should clear the old initiative and maybe we roll some stuff up. And probably Theater of the Minded, just because I don't want to go to this big laggy map unless we absolutely have to. But I can at least roll all the appropriate initiative scores. That, and we'll just do the whole party, including.
Have we
ooh,
noticed him? Like, we haven't really talked.
It's true. Like
I'm
you
kind of hanging
noticed.
from the ceiling.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That-
would just probably be like,
Yeah. Point oh
hi,
eight.
you're a veggie pygmy, right?
I hang by my feet
You-
from
you're
the
friendly?
ceiling and look at you guys curiously and just kind of go. "Sss, sss, sss."
It's
And I'm
Nice to
just
meet-
staring now.
Okay, at this point, hearing hissing, I'm gonna pop back out and seeing a Vegapygmy. I want to do the little, whatever, like basically the salute of like peace that I learned from the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So
What is
Okay.
the salute of peace?
I don't remember. It was like just like a little like a hand sign. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
on my
I'm
chest.
picturing
and
it as like very
something.
similar to like Final Fantasy X, like the Blitzball sign, or the Hail
Yeah.
Yevon sign, I guess too.
Yeah.
The one where you just kind of like bring your arms in and kind of form like a spherical shape, like near your core.
Okay. I do it back.
Okay.
All right. And I'm just gonna kind of point in the direction that we're all heading, and I'm gonna run out.
Okay.
You run towards it?
Well, I'm running towards the exit. Yeah, I'm leaving.
What does everyone else do?
I think everybody else was heading out that way too, right?
Yeah, it sounded like people were
Yeah.
unpiling bodies and running toward the sounds of combat. So,
So
okay.
Hiss is curious. I'm just gonna call myself Hiss for now. I think that's easier.
Yeah.
I just kind of plop over onto the ground and start running after him, and all you hear is just a plap, 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 plap from behind.
Okay. Cool. So his plapping behind you. We then kind of cut to this other scene with Azaka and Bag of Nails and all this mess. And let's see.
Every new round too, I'm instructing Stratos to zap the one that has Azaka under control.
Yeah. So let's actually like I'm gonna roll some stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So first would be the purebloods. We would just probably shoot that Bag of Nails. One of them hit. Okay, so you see Bag of Nails get shot once by Pureblood. Then, Lucius, it's your turn. You get to do, like, Stratos stuff, we'll say, because fuck it, that's the
Alright.
easiest way to handle this.
So shocking grasp on the one that has Azaka under control.
Okay. So 16 hits. Needs to make a con save.
Yes.
Nails the con save.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna whittle it down, and then
Yep.
Stratos just kind of floats off and hides until next round.
Okay. So then Azaka, under the spell of this one particular snake person, takes a couple of shots against Bag of Nails. So, got some cat-on-cat violence going on here.
I will say, as I'm running too, just side thing, I'm gonna yell out, "Azaka is not herself. Be careful." Because I'm not seeing any more of Stratos at this point. I'm running through the halls trying to get there. So Stratos is
Right,
acting
okay.
on his own.
Okay. Yeah, you probably hear another gasp from Bag of Nails from down the hall, though, because it's relatively close.
Okay.
All right. So, as people kind of progress, I think you all get to a spot where you're kind of like you're 20 feet down the hall from the room, and kind of across the way, which is another 20 feet. So you're about 40 feet off. You can see kind of this epic showdown of like the two snake people and Azaka against Bag of Nails, who's kind of like now on his own. He's got two arrows sticking out of him, and he's like kind of precariously keeping his balance over this this ledge that just falls down into a snake pit. Let's see. So, Fib, you can see that. You're about 40 feet away. Is there anything you'd like to do?
Can you very quickly just summarize what we saw in the pit? I'm sorry, I was looking at something.
It's okay. You're 40 feet away from the action, 20 feet of hallway, and then another 20 feet of room. At that about 40-foot range, there's a showdown between two Yuan-Ti purebloods, Azaka, who is controlled, and Bag of Nails. They are fighting at the edge of a pit of snakes.
Azaka can't even get hurt, so she's fine. I think
Except she's
Azaka-
controlled is kind of the thing.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's fine. Oh, I wonder. Ugh, I almost took the spell magic last time. Like, I'm a fool.
Yes, who does
Can't-
have dispel magic?
How
But do you have counterspell?
No.
How do you think a charm person would work on someone who's already charmed?
Charm versus charm? I mean,
That
maybe?
does it work? Yeah. Can you stack those?
I don't know. Don't know if it will break it. I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna cast charm person. There we go. On Azaka.
Okay.
Wait, no, maybe I have a different thing for this. No, I don't. Just do it as that.
Technically, are we fighting it? Her?
So, Bag of Nails is Fib's
Oh,
companion.
gotcha.
So yes,
Okay.
which makes it a little more difficult, but we'll roll for it.
Come on, Azaka, fucking
Yes.
fail. Fail again.
Let me read Counter Charm really quick to see if that will help. I don't know if it needs to be.
Counter charm, you have to already be doing it before.
Well, it also says friendly creatures, so never mind.
Yeah.
Okay. So, let's see. Regards you as a friendly acquaintance. Okay. So yeah, Azaka like notices Fib running up, and like her angry face as she's like getting ready to shoot a couple more arrows into Bag of Nails softens for a moment, like, oh cool, Fib's here, and then she like turns right back and just aims at Bag of Nails again.
Damn it.
Okay.
Well,
Well.
well, I mean, that
that's
works.
awkward. Can I try to tell her to stop? I don't know how much I can do a charm person because every DM has a different idea.
So, let's see. Let's specifically look at charm because I know there's like advantage on checks and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean within that context, like she sees you as a friend. You can't be attacked by her, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And you have advantage on any social ability check.
Okay,
So-
so I run up. I'm just like, please, no, don't hit him. That's not good. We should probably not do that.
I love how we can kind of hear the, I really don't care that much, but like,
Yeah. But just for now, don't do this.
Like, strategically, it's bad.
okay. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Ooh! That is needed.
Okay. So let's see here, because like suggestion is still a thing. Let's just bang all of the spells together and see what happens.
Yo, I mean, it's experimentation. Lucius is having a fucking field day with this.
Okay. It does that to the best of its ability. Okay. But yeah. I think at the very least, like there's a moment of pause. So you've certainly bought him, we'll say at least a round. We'll see what happens going forward.
Yay.
Yeah. Cool. So then Hiss. I guess you're plapping along behind everybody. We'll say for easy math, you're like 50 feet away from the action.
Alright.
You can see a showdown between some snake people and some cat people, except one of the cat people seems to have turned on the other cat person.
Okay, but I don't like snakes, right?
You hate snakes.
Fuck.
So as soon as I recognize that there are snakes, I let out a really wet hiss, kind of a screaming hiss, and I raise my spear and I start charging straight towards the snake.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, you do that, and okay, so you do have range with this. So you could run up to like the edge of the room and chuck your spear over the pit and try and hit one of these things if you'd like to do that.
How long would it take to get over there, like walk over to them?
Like you can do all that in your turn.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so you run up to the door of this room, and this like long running start, you just hurl your spear over this pit of snakes, kind of just skidding to a stop right before you yourself tumble over down into it. And go ahead and make a ranged spear attack off that character sheet you got there. Oof.
Wow.
Okay. So, yeah, you throw the spear, and it goes like right between the two snake people and down the hallway on the opposite side of the room. So yeah, that's the thing.
Well,
You'll be able to run up on him next turn though if you want to like
Oh,
do
yeah.
other stuff. So okay, grow mod. Let's say you're like 40 feet.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
I believe Goromod's still hasted.
Okay, so Bag of Nails is still under the influence of the Yuan-Ti.
Azaka is attacking. Well, is currently paused from attacking Bag of Nails, but Azaka seems to be the one who's like under the influence at the moment.
Okay, are there Yuan-Ti over there?
Yeah, there's two purebloods, the most humanoid looking ones.
Alright, I'll drop a hunter's mark on one of them and shoot at it with my bow.
All right. And I will say, being familiar with the whole concentration thing, you can probably get a good bead on the right one. 12. Let's see. That hits. So,
Fantastic.
hell yeah. 9 and 6, 15 points of damage. And this one immediately needs to make one con save before the inevitable second attack.
Gesundheit.
Is he still hasted by any chance?
So, I'm trying to remember the timeline on that one.
I did it as we entered as we started
Oh,
the
that's
storeroom fight. So I would think he
That's
should
right.
be.
Yeah, he should because it was only like 2 or 3 rounds for them to get around to the other side.
Yeah. So So you would have
He was a
had
minute.
double movement to get to this room too.
Yeah, I mean he's able to get there
Yeah.
just fine.
So yeah, you get a third attack too.
Yeah. Worth noting, as soon as the Yuan-Ti gets hit with that first arrow, Azaka just like heel turns on her and immediately aims the bow right at her.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, I'll still use the rest of my shots on that one since it's got my hunter's mark.
Yeah, that hits.
Ooh.
Okay, 14 and then another 13. Oh, that one's super dead. Okay. There you go. So, you just shoot 3 arrows rapid fire into this thing and like almost pin it against the wall. It just kind of like slides down the masonry and probably keels over and rolls over into the snake pit down below. Okay. Then Bag of Nails gets to go and not be murdered by everyone. Longbow. Crit. All right. So he just like shoots this snake person in the neck. And while she's still standing, that looked like it really fucking hurt. Thorv. 40 feet out. What do you do?
Alright, I guess I'll run and get as close as I can.
Okay.
And since I still can't reach him, I'll shoot him with a crossbow.
Okay. 16 hits. 13 hits. So 10 points of damage. Okay. This snake person is like reeling at the sudden plummeting from full health to beyond bloodied in the space of like 2 people's turns. Okay. Sirenny.
I
Lead.
will move forward toward Bag of Nails
Cool.
and cast.
Cool. Dex save. Ooh, that's a big fail. So 6 points. Radiant damage. This Yuan-Ti is riddled with projectiles and now slightly scorched by Sacred Flame, but still alive. And it is her turn. Okay, so she looks across the walkway at Bag of Nails. No, you know what? She's gonna go for Azaka again. She got in there once. She's gonna try it again. She looks at Azaka and says, "What are you doing? Don't you have intruders to kill?" And the wisdom save.
Be stronger this time, Zako.
Not strong enough.
Azaka just like sneers at her and
Oh.
draws back an arrow. But Lucius, it is your turn first. What do you do?
All right.
As the snake person is like notices that it hasn't taken hold, and you see her beginning to like run back toward the nest.
So you see me pull out my wand of fear and point it out at the thing. And I think about it and go, nah, fuck it. I just motion for Stratos to come down, and you just see lightning rod. Zap.
Oh shit! 25 hit.
Yep.
Okay. So electricity arcs around her form, and somehow she's still fucking alive, but not by much.
And I'm just gonna cross my arms and I'm gonna say, you're fucking dead. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
Because she's the only one left, right?
Yeah, she's the only one left
Okay.
in this room. And so Azaka kind of like follows her with the longbow and seems to think better of it.
Wait, she cannot take a reaction, so if Azaka wanted to back up and just fucking no-scope the bitch, she could. So, completely
Well,
up to you.
Snake Lady is already like running down the hallway.
Oh!
So Azaka kind of follows her until she loses the sight line, and then rather than doing like a strafe and shoot down the hall kind of thing, she just she like tosses the longbow, away from the pit, and kind of goes all fours and just like bounds after her.
Okay.
And let's see. I mean, she's gonna get a couple attacks, so if she can hit once,
She goes
she'll be
full on
good.
Wolverine.
All right. Yeah. So that the first one's gonna hit, and so she just goes like bounding down the hallway and tackles this snake person, and just you
just
hear
see-
like a wet
yeah.
ripping sound, and it's a whole thing.
Just blood
Um,
splattering everywhere as Azaka's just
yeah.
tearing into this thing.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. So, Stratos is gonna go down and watch Azaka's back,
Okay.
too. That's my order.
So both of them are dead now.
Yes, everybody, we have
Yes.
this room secure.
So before picking up my spear, I go over to the dead body and I start painting symbols on my body with the blood, just like all over.
So, I guess as he's doing that, I pull out my book and I'm like kind of trying to write down the symbols. And just kind of in my notes section, I'm drawing out the symbols that he's writing. Lucius is extremely curious about these Vegapygmies. So,
Okay.
I am going to heal Bag of Nails.
yeah, I can't do anything else.
All right.
Oops. Sorry, I meant cure wounds, not healing word. There you go.
One more hit point. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. So you do still hear like just sounds of conflict kind of echoing throughout all of the different hallways that reach out from this area, but you don't see anything like immediately close. It just sounds like the whole revolution thing is kind of kicking off.
Okay, so basically, like, we did our jobs kind of thing.
It would seem so.
Cool.
Can I duck in somewhere and start the process of putting on my armor?
Well, I mean, we're probably in a fairly defensible location.
Yeah, I mean, relatively speaking.
I mean,
'cause-
I don't want to be next to a pit of snakes. So
No.
valid.
I
Can I
feel
move to-
that so hard.
You like drop a pauldron and it's just like covered in snakes. Like
like, well, I guess I don't have that anymore. Yeah,
minus
like,
one
let's
AC.
move to a room that does not have a pit of snakes.
Was the
Okay,
bathhouse open? Or, like,
yeah,
secured?
like the bathing area or the nests are both like kind of equidistant. So
Yeah,
you
we'll
could
go to the
be in either one of
bathhouse.
them. All right. Cool. So you do that, and how long does it take for your big heavy armor?
I think it's 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start putting that on as well.
All right.
I can't remember if I had mine on,
Continue.
but if I
Yours
don't,
is
I
on.
put it
Yeah,
on.
yours is on. You just managed to get yours on before. Yep. Okay. So that's the thing. You hear the sounds of fighting outside. The gong rings a few more times. You hear hissing and screaming and.
You know, can we
Probably-
close the door to the bathing area? Just fucking shut the door so nobody can see in, and let's just sit here.
So.
Try to wait it out.
Like the bathing area proper, like kind of the main portion of it, there's not an exterior door to close.
Oh.
But then there's there's kind of a sauna situation deeper inside that
Yep.
does have.
Alright, I'm going in there.
Yeah. So, okay. Cool. And so yeah, this is the part that that Cyrene was probably like in the process of cleaning out. There's still like some massive snake moltings just laying around on the floor, and yeah, it's
Prestidigitation,
gross,
they're just
but-
gone.
Tierney did bad cleaning this room.
I was interrupted. I'm sorry.
You just see us go in, and I pull out like just my spell book, and I just have a little beam, and I just pick it up and just yeet it out of the room. Each little shell casing just.
Maybe you should have been in charge of this.
Well, I mean, I did the same thing in the nesting area. There's a lot of blood, though. They really should clean that.
Isn't that what
So-
you're supposed to do?
I mean, I was the one who made it there.
all right.
I mean, there are dead bodies also in this room, so
That's
There is that. Like there were a couple of guards, and then yeah, just the whole slave uprising thing tends to get a little messy.
That's fine.
But yeah, you get your 10 minutes kind of locked away if you so choose. And yeah, so you're all armored up.
I mean, if we're gonna sit around for a little bit, I'm starting a short rest too. I may not be able to finish it, but I'm gonna try.
Okay.
So
So I mean, is that kind of the consensus, or are people gonna
we
want to push forward?
I'm fine waiting. I got beat up a little bit.
we're in a nice defensible area. So
It's true. There is only the one entrance, and that one entrance backs up to a snake pit. So
Remember your song of rest?
sweet.
like I don't know if we should help the other slaves in their uprising, but already did quite a bit.
We already helped them. We got it
Yeah.
started for them. They can finish it.
So are we good to do a short rest then? Okay. Because it's
We
Too
can
late,
start
we
it
already
at
rolled
least.
for it.
yeah, that's how that works.
We were quicker, so we get it.
You are able to get in a short rest.
okay.
Yay.
Immediately following that, I cast tongues and I look over to Snake Noises, and I just say, "Thank you, valiant warrior."
I just kind of look at him quizzically and hiss back like, "Hello?"
Yes, I can speak your language. Hello.
You make fight snake. Snake
Oh,
bad.
yes. Well,
Me fight snake.
we fight some snake. We fight
All snake bad.
spellcaster next. I waggle my fingers.
Hiss just kind of jumps back a step and does a double take and like puts his arms up in front of him a little bit.
I'm gonna again same like symbol of like I mean no harm. Basically, it's like a I don't know. It's the universal symbol I learned from you guys that I hope it translates. I guess, but I'll say we fight evil down below.
I take out my spear, flip it around so the butt end is towards him, and then I just kind of like inch closer and then just like poke him with it in the leg. Curious, and then I come up and then just kind of like start walking around you, like poking at you.
I'm
And then after a minute, I'm just like, I will fight.
Okay. So, I'll say, well, what's your name? So, I look to everybody else in the room, like I just look around the room and I'm like, his name literally is so, so that
Just
works.
waving hi.
So, and I'll translate and say she says hi. Greetings.
I look over and just go,
Say your name at her, huh?
no, my name is. I said,
Oh, my bad.
vastly different noises.
So I will have translated whatever he says.
I didn't say anything. I just went.
Oh, okay. Well, I just look blankly at everybody because there's no translation. And I'll say, well, he's willing to fight the snakes, but I think maybe the fighting is over for now. And I guess I will take a little bit of time, explain what's going on a little bit more to him, and that eventually we will come back and take care of these snake people here. But for right now, we've got bigger things to do, like bigger things to kill. So, but that if they are willing to help, like him, if you and your people are willing to help, when we come back, we will definitely aid you guys in taking these out. So, but
Cute.
yeah. So,
I ask if you have any fish.
do we have fish? I personally don't think I
Probably
do.
not.
I pull out one of those Commodon heads and offer that.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, like a snake head?
Oh, yeah, snakehead.
Was
Our
the,
poor
was the
babies
head snake?
are
I thought the head was
all,
like a cat.
No,
Yeah, what happened to your creepy babies?
they're probably dead. They're not old enough to feed by themselves.
Oh no, I'm
Yeah.
so sad about that.
Poor things.
Does accept the Commodon head in place of a snake?
Yeah, I look at it,
Or a
shrug, and
fish
then start
snake.
eating it like an apple.
Just before he takes a bite, prestidigitation to make it taste like just a regular fish, like cod, we'll say.
Just the regular fish.
Like, I mean, just
Yes.
one of the fish that we've got, we must have eaten at some point.
Yeah.
After I take a bite, my eyes light up. It's like, what? And I eat it happily.
Snakefish.
Yes, it's just like beer tasting like was it dragon tails or like snake tails? Lizard tails. That's what it was. Yeah, that's the whole thing with Goromon too.
He likes
Why does
lizard tails?
Gromod care so much about the Commodon kits?
He just had images of himself riding into battle on the back of one. That's kind of been a running theme this entire campaign.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure, like, I would assume that we would have had them, and then now we don't, so...
I assume that when they took us prisoner, they just killed them. Because they probably don't want to deal with it.
No, they just turned them into full-fledged snakes. So they're snakes with snakes on their backs.
The mane of snakes.
Yes.
No, I do not like that. I'm gonna go with my thing.
I reject your reality and replace it with my own.
That's fine. My reality's completely wrong anyway.
Okay, so post short rest, what's the plan?
Do we want to just stay put until we hear word that things are settled? What do we want to do,
Go
guys?
find the red wizards.
I have no spells, and I'll just shut my spell book and put it away. I have nothing left for the day.
Should we get out of here then?
I mean, if we don't have... Anything else? We either can see if we can go find the priestess or stay here until they find us.
We still have the cube. Like, were all our cubes with the stuff too?
Let's see. Your cubes, they wouldn't have been like taken out of your bags yet, so yes, you have all
Okay.
the ones that you guys have.
So I'll say, well, we still need the cube that's in here. So we still do have to work with these guys, or we have to find it. Yeah, I'm gonna send Stratos out to do some scouting.
I mean, I can cast locate object.
We could. Do we know which one it is?
Yes?
Yeah, the
There is only
Drop.
one left, so
Yeah, so it was at a temple where you found a bunch of dead grung. So.
Oh, that's
maybe-
right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we can try that. Stratus is running, like, just doing his thing, trying to give me some eyes outside.
Okay, so yeah, let me do a quick check for that. See what he
Should-
finds.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not necessarily looking for trouble. I'm just looking to see how the fighting's going, see who's winning, you know, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
I'll wait to cast anything until I'm sure
Yeah.
of what he's doing.
Yeah, and I will have told you guys that I'm sending Stratos out. I'm gonna get a lay of how things are going before we decide to move out.
Yeah. Okay, so like this immediate kind of wing of the Fane where like the nests and the snake pit and the bathhouse area is, it's all pretty much abandoned at this point.
Okay.
So then as Stratos heads down the hall, see the still abandoned poison distillery, the storehouse where the door is still like busted in. The first signs of life really at all after the ones that were pursuing you seem to have moved on to other things would be when he reaches the opposite end of the hallway where there's kind of a larger pillar-lined hall that leads to a statue of a coiled serpent, alongside which you can see some wagons and carts, as well as a pen. Well, two pens. One pretty sizable and home to a Triceratops, and the other a little on the smaller side and kind of thrown together, home to a litter of Commodon kittens.
All right. So I will. I will relay the message specifically to Kroimod that the kits are not dead. And that they are down the hallway. And then I will, once I see his reaction, I will relay the message that the kits are not dead. They are, you know, I'll explain where they are, but that's weird. All right, and I'll say, well, we can approach, we can do that. I'm not gonna be too much help, and Gromad, you're gonna. And about this time, haste fades. The Gromad is just it would have done it before, but
Yeah, but somewhere in there, Grandma just had like 6 seconds of just, oh fuck.
yeah. And then you're back to normal.
Cool.
That's awesome. It just forces a sneeze.
And it's like the really long, drawn out one where you
It's like
full 6 seconds, like, I'm like, oh god, it's...
Yep. And that's why it wastes your turn. That's canon now.
So, you guys heading out?
Yeah. We'll go rescue our kits.
sounds good.
And I may. Huh?
I feel like they may be in better hands here.
All right, we can leave them.
But they're ours. Maybe they're just saving them for food.
Maybe.
They're not ours. We killed our mother.
Okay. Well, we can go get them.
Okay. As we're going, I'll whisper to Goromod, there's a Triceratops too. And I'll throw him a wink. Thinking back to the last time he was around a dinosaur like that.
Okay. So, short rest out of the way. You all emerge from the bathhouse portion of the fane, walking around the snake pit, down the long hallway, and eventually reaching a pillared hall whose walls bear reliefs of a giant serpent and its Yuan-Ti worshippers doing terrible things. So as you kind of look around this area, you see that there is a giant serpent coiled in the underworld, devouring dreams of sleeping creatures. Yuan-Ti carved on the walls, terrorized Chiltons, feeding their nightmares to the great serpent. What else? Oh, you see a snake man with a flaming sword, wearing a gold crown set with a black opal. And he leads the snake people to a great door to the underworld. And finally, like the last panel, you see the door to the underworld opening, releasing the serpent. At which point it devours the sun and plunges the world into terror and darkness. So you know.
That
That's pretty
doesn't sound fun. Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it seems like a hallway. It's fine.
All right.
Oh, also, there is a side door that emerges from this hallway about halfway through. It is currently closed. So you could do side door, or you could just go straight to the snake statue and Triceratops and all that stuff.
And you said they're the only thing that looks like that's around? There's no guards or nothing?
Make a perception check.
All right.
Okay. 18.
Yeah, not too bad.
So, I think you would hear sounds of movement from further down, like even beyond the statue and the pens, as though someone is still around. It doesn't sound like hurried or frantic or anything. Maybe even like there's just somebody down there who's either they could be hiding or they could be guarding something, but they don't seem to be rushing headlong into the combat that's going on elsewhere.
Well, Stratos is going to rush headlong towards them and figure out who they are.
Okay. So you do that, and yeah, you rapidly, upon leaving the room with the pen and the statue, you see that there is let's see, it's another snake person. Let's see what kind of snake person this one is.
So it's super important.
Always super important. Okay, so this is one of the ones with a human body and a snake head.
Okay.
So he's standing on the interior of what looks like a massive, like 20-foot wide sliding gate with kind of a short wall built around it. It looks like this is kind of the front way into the fane.
Oh, okay. So yeah, as long as he doesn't appear to be coming after anybody, he's just guarding that door, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I will mention that, yeah, there's a guard down there. He doesn't appear to be giving a shit about anything going on, so let's just let the dinosaurs out, or dinosaur out, grab our kits, and get out of here.
Well, if that's the plan, you guys head forward then?
Yep.
Okay. So you reach this room. There's this coiled snake statue, Triceratops, a pen full of little baby Commodons, snake leopards, if you will.
Are they ours? Like, do we recognize them? Or are
Yeah,
they-
they're yours. So yeah. So you, I imagine, scoop them up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are they happy to see us?
They do seem happy to see you. They seem much less concerned now that you are back in sight.
So
And
I will help
Ramon
Ramon open that gate. Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty like shoddily constructed thing. I mean, it's probably the only reason the Triceratops is still in there is because it was like relatively well trained to begin with. Okay. So Grom, there you go.
He immediately
Wheel
gets
the
on
one
his-
too.
Yep.
All right.
And I'm just gonna step the fuck out of the way after opening the gate.
Okay. So Gromod walks up to this Triceratops and let's see how he does on the save. Okay. So you walk up and immediately being able to speak with the Triceratops, you kind of just give it a greeting, and it like immediately acknowledges you, like it's happy to see you.
Awesome.
All right, I'm gonna ride this into battle now. So okay, let's do this.
So yep.
Okay. So, yeah, worth pointing out as you guys, well, I guess, what is the actual plan here? Like, are you trying to just fucking leave, or do you want to go and track down Fenthaza?
I mean, we still need that puzzle cube first, so.
Or we could get out of here while we can and talk with her later.
That might be a good idea.
We're not trapped in here.
Yeah.
For all the Sneeple.
Groilmod and Fib want the same thing, but for much very different reasons.
You know what? Let's, so I'm going to point a finger, and I'm going to cast a message to the guard. And I'm going to say, either you're part of this rebellion, or you're dead. Make your choice. And I want to see what he does.
I mean, he's a citizen. He's not part of the rebellion.
We'll see. No, he might be.
Well, right, because like the whole reason the slave rebellion happened is because Fenthaza and her group of Sneeple were all like, no, fuck you, Rosnacy, we're better at Sneepling than you are.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I'm basically saying either you're part
Yeah.
of this or get the fuck out of the way.
I guess there's two rebellions happening.
yeah,
Or a
there's,
rebellion
like,
within a rebellion.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to put it. Okay.
And he
So-
should be able to understand me because I have tongues.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, this is one of the smarter ones anyway.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, I guess the question would be, how does he handle this? Right. So this dude. Yeah. I think he kind of like looks around for the sourceless voice in his head. And not immediately seeing anybody, at least, he kind of casts a leery eye around the area and just sort of like walks down the nearby hall.
Away
and
from the
off to
front gate.
side, away from you guys. Yeah.
All right. So Stratos is gonna kind of slither up, peek around, and if he's kind of out of the way, then I'm gonna release Groma to just charge through the gate. Or I'll try to if I have to open the gate. I don't know how good shoddily made this gate is.
Yeah. I mean, it's like feasible to open.
Okay. Yeah, I'll open it and let Groma charge out into the. Basically, we're just trying to. Yeah.
On the side of tops. Will Thor fit up there? On the dinosaur?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Cool. So, yeah, it's like it's kind of a pain in the ass to open the gates, but like you guys aren't under any time stress or whatever, so maybe it takes like Thorv and Azaka or somebody like kind of cranking away at the chains that open them, but you get things cleared out. You head out of the Fane and back up to ground level in Oma.
And we'll just find a field and I guess let the thing graze, and we'll just kind of chill. I mean, we're fairly safe from snake people as long as they're around this area, I would think. So, and just keep an eye out. I don't want to go too far, I guess. But,
Okay, so what, you want to like stay within that circular walled part of the city?
If there's a little spot for us to be able to like kind of set up a little camp, I guess. Here, let me take a look and see.
Yeah, so like you guys are basically right here.
Here, let me zoom out, zoom back in. Yeah, so let's go back over here. So we'll go back in that little corner,
Where?
and just probably like right over here.
Yeah,
Looks
about
like-
130.
Yeah, looks just kind of open, and let the Triceratops get some sun, let him graze, let him,
Enjoy life a bit.
Yeah, and then we can all just kind of relax for a little bit. If we see any snake people in the next hour, I can communicate with them, and I will attempt same thing I did to the guard. Either you're with the rebellion or you're dead, and if they don't respond, they die. And I tell people just attack.
Okay.
So, and I think we've got enough range that we shouldn't have too much of a problem nuking a Snurson or two.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't have numbers on you, it's not like a
Yeah.
super big concern. Okay. So you go and do that, let the Triceratops chill. And yeah, like how long are you hanging out? Like, what's the ultimate kind of plan here?
I guess you want to hang out for, I don't know, I say maybe like an hour and a half, and if we don't see anything, then maybe I'll send Stratos back towards the door and have him go in and see kind of how things are.
Okay.
So, I left the gate wide open. I left everything wide open, so it's obvious that somebody took the Triceratops and left out the front door. So that if they do come looking for us, we're not far.
Okay.
And we also have a Triceratops.
Exactly. So we're not gonna get very far. We're just kind of chilling.
Alright. So, let's see.
I mean, I would say immediately I would secure our area, make sure there's nobody trying to sneak up on us, and then after that, Stratos is gonna go back in and try to see what he can see. And even if I to lose communication with him, and I'll just sit there and wait for communication to come back up, and then I'll relay what was seen.
Okay.
So
I'll ask Fib if she wants to put one of those bubbles up while we're waiting as well.
yeah, that could
Just
be
in
good.
case.
Pip, throws a bubble up.
All right. So yeah, you wait a while. You don't see or hear anything. Send Stratos down, and you probably do lose touch with him for a little bit. But eventually, he does return and tells you that upon looking around, he found a lot of dead red wizards.
Okay.
Most of the Fane, including the big central room with the blood fountain and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
is empty.
Okay.
And when he flew down there, on the other side, through one of the sets of doors that you guys haven't really gone through yet, so just kind of the far side, I guess, is how you would get that idea. There was a really messy battlefield. Dead snake people everywhere. And Stratos does return with the news that he saw Fenthaza alive and emerging from a hidden door in this room where the massive battle took place, with a wrapped, bandaged head.
Okay. So it appears they won.
Looks that way.
Alright, as soon as I get that, I'll say, alright guys, well, looks like Fenthaza won. So she's a little worse for wear, according to Stratos. But she's alive. So...
To clarify, she's holding the head of the mummy-looking dude. not
Oh,
like
I
she's
thought
holding
she was
the-
holding her head.
Yeah.
Oh,
I also
Okay.
thought she was holding her head.
yeah.
It's valid, thinking about it. But yeah, no,
Um,
so like the
yeah.
wrapped up person that was like throwing big ass fireballs at you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, that head.
Alright, so I guess I will, we'll kind of pack up camp that we had, and we'll start heading back towards the front entrance.
Okay.
You know, not sneakily, we're just gonna walk. What was that,
Alright.
Becca?
Our camp, a bubble.
Well, I mean, I would assume, like, I got all my stuff out, and I was actually starting to copy a spell in to my spell book in this downtime.
In my bubble.
Yeah. So I'll pack up my shit and get ready to
So
go.
now that is all mine because it disappeared with my bubble,
Yes.
and I get to keep it.
Oh,
There you go.
okay. You keep the spell. Half-written spell.
Okay. So yeah, you all head back down. I don't know. We'll say the Triceratops is with you guys for now. And yeah, you return and follow the kind of rough directions that you'd gotten through Stratos to a chamber on the far side of the Fane, where you see the severely dwindled but still, well, at least partially intact forces of Fenthaza, as well as the priestess herself, coiled up on a stone throne overlooking the room.
Okay. Well, and is the door open then?
Yeah, so you
Okay.
basically you go through a door down a long hallway, and it kind of opens up into this room.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, I'll be the first one in, I guess.
Okay.
So.
And yeah, you walk in, you see the snake people and Fenthaza, and, like perched up on the balcony, kind of like dripping down the stonework. You can see this bandaged head that's just been placed there.
All right. As soon as I get in, I'm gonna point up at the thing. I'm gonna say, okay, now that that's dead, what the hell was that? Because that's nuts.
She says, this was Ras Nasi. He joined our people. Not born one of us, but took on our image, as some humans are blessed to do. And through his cunning and power, he rose to the top of our power structure here. And he led us astray, bringing us further and further from our task here, the release of Dendar. And so he had to be dealt with.
Okay.
You've thought about the deal I offered you.
I mean, we're here. We could have just walked away, but we've got a mission to complete anyway down there, so...
Well, I knew you couldn't go far unless you were going to go home empty-handed. But you've done well. And so far, you have held up your end of this bargain. And so, should you agree to my terms, I will give you these puzzle cubes you seek. But you will return to me with the Black Opal Crown, or you will never leave the city.
Seems agreeable enough. I'll look at the rest of the group, though.
Fib rolls her eyes. Which by now Yuvine knows that she's not gonna object to it.
I will agree to those terms.
How sure are we that that crown's in there?
She's sure of it, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we won't try to hide it from her.
No.
Sneak it out.
Well, it's just... It's an artifact, anyway. It's supposed to be in use in the bringing back of Dendar, so... I don't... It's not actually like an item, I don't think. Like, it's just its own little thing.
An artifact isn't an item?
Well, like, it's not like a crown of blasting or something. It's just... It's a
I'm
MacGuffin.
pretty sure an artifact is like a more powerful version of a crown of blasting.
Yeah, like a super item.
Well, we'll see. She didn't seem to think it was anything crazy. It was just something needed for this.
So I know this isn't actually happening in game, but I love the image of you guys just bickering about this right in front of Fanthaza.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, are you sure you want to agree to this? Because like that could be really powerful.
I did not agree to the terms of giving it to her. I agreed to the terms that I would either give it to her or not leave the city.
I mean, if we're gonna be honest, like the
Like,
whole plan is to go in.
Chances are I'm not going to give it to her, which means she's going to prevent me from leaving the city.
Didn't you
I'm
just
not going
say
back
you
on my
agree?
promise. What?
Didn't you just agree with... She said, do you agree? And you said yes?
She said the terms were to bring her the crown or not leave the city.
Yeah. To be fair, we're probably just gonna come out and just murder the whole lot of them anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Can we give it to her and then murder? That way.
No,
we'll have honored
we'll
our deal.
act like we're giving it to her, and instead give her a big plate of dicks and tell her to eat those instead.
You can get those. Is this is like a snake person or no?
Yes, she is a Snurson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fib is so horrified that she like someone turned into what I am. Blessing. And like making it seem like it's so good. Fib doesn't like the idea that someone can be turned and choose to be turned into a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically Cyrene is agreeing to I'll either give you the crown or I will fight my way out of here and possibly die.
That's fine. Yeah.
It's more of an understanding than a contract, I guess.
So, I will say.
I
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, that was the finishing of my statement.
Was that your bong water?
What? That was
Yep.
not from me
It
at all.
was Becca's bong water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
You told me you're allergic to weed.
Yeah. Well, it's meth. That's the trick.
Exactly.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm not
Yeah.
allergic to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Becca never told me she was allergic to meth, so.
No, she's not. So that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. You know. But I will say.
Read on this.
I also noticed that you guys got most of the red wizards as well. Would it be possible that we have the pick at least of some of their spell books so that I can possibly get any more usefulness out of them?
We also need the cubes that were on them.
Oh yeah, she said she would give us all the cubes if we agreed anyway. So.
That is true.
And I assumed it was one she took from them too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, she's open to the idea of you, you know, leafing through some spell books and stuff.
Okay.
But if we're being totally honest, they're
That's-
exactly
They are
the same.
exactly the same. Okay, I didn't know if
Yep.
they were. I didn't know if they had any higher level stuff.
Nope, these guys are all basically the same character sheet.
Gotcha. Cool.
So,
You now have 7 copies of the same book.
I will take one if she doesn't mind me taking one, so I have two sets of spell books.
yeah,
I mean, that's pretty valid in case one gets destroyed.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she really cares that much. I mean, she gets her power elsewise, so she probably doesn't put a whole lot of stock in the whole
Yeah.
wizard thing.
That's fine. I mean, I can turn one of these things for a huge profit, like 1,500 gold each, probably. Just selling it off as here's a spell book.
Can I steal one of their component pouches as well?
Oh, I'll help you read
Uh,
that.
Yeah, you could do that. That's fine.
Okay.
I like Lucius asking, like, can I have the spell book? It might be so useful to me. Like, I might
And then
need
I
it for
flipped.
some
Yeah, I
reason." And
flipped through it.
immediately turning around and being like, 1,500 gold.
Well, I flipped through it and I
mean,
go, these
1,500
guys.
gold
Yeah.
is helpful.
Well, yeah, that's a
You
couple
can
fifth
buy
level
spells
spells.
he
Yeah.
doesn't know with
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Always. How much does Stratos cost? Like a freaking million?
No, I think it's like 10 or 15 or something. I don't know. It's not that bad. I've got
15 gold or 1,500?
no 15 gold
Oh.
per cast.
I thought
It's
it was
just
like
when
a
he's
lot.
dying every other day.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of when we had no. Then that was the issue.
Oh, it's 10 G. Well, the thing is it's 10 gold of charcoal, incense, and herbs that must be consumed. So,
You have to eat stuff to get Stratos?
in fire.
Oh, weird.
The
Yeah.
spell consumes it.
Yeah, no, you know what? I
Not the
eat.
caster.
No,
No,
I
it
eat
doesn't
the ingredients
consume
and then
them.
Stratos comes out of my mouth.
Yes! I love oh, boy,
Yup.
I like that.
I'm
Yeah.
like, no, you don't.
Yup, super creepy, but you know what? That's
Oh,
canon. That's how I do it.
Oh,
That is.
Bib pushes you out of the bubble every time. Do that outside of my bubble. She turns it opaque until opaque.
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 Until she turns it opaque until you're done, and then she lets you back in.
I'm picturing now Lucius, like every time he has to resummon Stratos, you get like the cat hacking
Yup,
sound.
yup, just what?
That
What?
is
What?
exactly what I was picturing.
Imagine that one time where you got the evil creature ball thing.
Oh yeah. Well, no, but that was completely different. That was Lucius trying something completely new, so I wasn't sure how that worked.
Was that the weird head thing?
It was the eyeball. The yeah.
No.
Um.
Are you never getting that back?
I
thought
mean,
it
I
was,
could.
Like, whichever's convenient, you were gonna
No.
But I could, but
No.
Sirenny won't let me.
Exactly.
Yeah. She didn't like it, so.
use. Good on Siren. Wait, no, bad on Siren. Fuck.
so
Good
we-
on Sirenny. It could turn against us at any moment.
So could your animals.
This one is a kitty. It is not an evil creature made by eviler creatures.
I mean,
Right, it's just an evil creature.
I picture
Or
this
my
conversation
evil
going on
creature.
in character.
Totally.
And I'm just kind of standing there looking back and forth between the two.
We see Sirenny like holding up a little kitten toward Finn.
Yes.
Just like stares at her. What
Bit
did I
backing
do?
away slowly. The cats don't have snakes yet, right?
No, they're just cats.
They're just little kitties that are like, half the size of your cat. I can't hear you.
That's
Rip.
true.
My cat is adorable and perfect. Your cats are gonna have snakes.
But they can also put people to sleep in an AoE effect. Can your cat do that?
Everyone sees my cat and immediately stops fighting because they're like, I can't hurt this precious angel.
Gromod can't ride your cat.
Yeah, that's true.
No, he cannot. She is too tiny.
So,
Okay. What time of day is it?
yeah,
Let's see. It would actually be
probably say later
relatively
afternoon,
early. Yeah, like probably.
like 3, 4, something like that.
I would say even a little earlier. We'll say like
Oh.
2:00.
Wow, we got done with this rebellion early. We can move up some appointments.
We got done with it and time was never on renewed.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's get everything we need, and tomorrow we can leave to go into the temple or the tomb. Sorry,
Okay, yeah.
is that good? Anyone
Can-
anything?
Can they provide lodging for us again that's not in a hole? I mean, since she knows we're obviously not running away, there's no need to shackle us.
Yeah, I mean like they could offer you nests.
I mean, what was it? The nest did the nest I clean look comfy? I'm assuming nests are just like a pile of hay and feathers and shit, right?
Something
Maybe
like
like
that.
a pile of pillows.
They don't
Oh,
have like
actually,
normal prison
you know what?
cells.
Come to think of it, there's a whole other area of the Fane that you guys haven't checked out yet.
Oh.
And I think there are probably some people in that reach of the Fane that Finthaza's not so super fond of. And so as she like kind of gives a command to one of her lieutenants that's just kind of standing by, she does tell you that you'll have accommodations within the hour.
Okay.
And you hear like screaming and fighting, but kind of like very one-sided fighting. And
Stratos goes and watches.
okay,
I want to watch.
so there was a side door off of the blood fountain room.
Oh.
It was the one that had like the lever thing on the outside.
Yeah.
And all of that.
Yeah.
So like there were a couple of brood guards, which are like the big brute guys, but then all the rest were purebloods, so like the very human-looking ones. And as you send Stratos over there, you see a parade of, let's just say, scantily clad, scaly humans being dragged forcibly out and carted off to some other reach of the Fane.
It was a harem?
It was a harem.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah, that's a thing. So yeah, you have a very heavily scented, plush pillow covered area in which to spend the evening.
Are there any? If there are any stains on any of the pillows, I'm gonna prestidigitation and clean them.
It's like that hotel in Norman.
Yup. Yup. Cum stains on everything. Dude's jacking off on the drapes. Like, it was... You think I'm making this up, but I'm not.
Okay, bye, Nico.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, anyway. Y'all get the harem spot for the night, and
Cool.
At least there are pillows.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the most comfy rest we've had in a while.
probably. But yeah. So
What a
that's the
life
thing.
we lead.
Okay.
So,
So
over
Go
this
Full
time,
night's rest.
I would like to have
Right.
copied Ice Storm into my spellbook. So,
Okay. Yeah, that's
uh,
feasible.
I already took the cost off like a long time ago, and just never. I turns out I couldn't do it, but it's already there now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Now 2 of us have Ice Storm.
yep. Oh, I have 2 more spells that I can add in too, that make things fun.
Okay. So rest out of the way, everybody with their hit points back, and all of that good stuff. Next day, is there anything you guys want to do before heading up to the tomb?
I don't know. Do we have anything we can do?
Ask them if they have any magical weapons laying around that they don't mind us borrowing.
Yeah, unless you want to copy more spells or anything.
Wait, what was?
I think Fenthaza is quite comfortable with the amount of help that they've offered you already.
Yeah.
Why
Wha-
not killing us, I figured.
Yeah.
What was Rasmussen? He was a lich.
So he was a necromancer
Oh.
who also, like, he basically became a snake person while maintaining some of his, like, necromancer general spell casting abilities. It was a whole thing.
So I want to message her and ask, can I take just a quick peek at his spell book? 'Cause
Does he have a spell book?
I mean, I don't necromancers, aren't they wizards?
Generally speaking.
Yeah. So
But not always.
So, in Ross Nasi's case,
yes.
let's see.
Because I think liches or arch liches are different. Because I don't think they need a book after becoming an arch lich or a lich.
Yeah, I mean, like, Ross Nasi he's up there too. I'm just looking to see if there's any mention of a spell book. I don't think there is. Yeah, he doesn't carry a spell book. He
Okay.
has some other things that have been kind of stripped from his person.
Okay. No, that's
But,
fine. As long as no spell book, I'm cool with that. I just figured I'd ask. Because.
No, that's legit.
Alright.
Cool.
So yeah, I guess heading in. Yeah.
Okay. Clear all this UNT stuff out of the way.
Also, I
Okay.
did want to verify with her if we come out with this crown, are we free to give it to her and then leave?
Basically, the scenario is she will have her people stationed outside the tomb at all times.
Yeah, that's fine.
When you emerge, you will surrender the black opal crown to her people. And only then will you be allowed to leave.
Okay. So,
So
yeah, depending on how intense it gets, we may retreat out to camp for the night. But yeah, we're not leaving this area until we get the thing for her.
I mean, there's a difference in between returning to the entrance and
Yeah,
leaving.
that's
Yeah.
what I mean. But I'm saying, like, we may exit the actual tunnel and just camp outside for a night just to see the stars.
you just lay down, you close your eyes for a second, look up. There's a UNT about to curb stomp your
Y'all
ass.
just see 6 snake-headed people all looking at you.
You can't go this way.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So let's have a look at this exterior area of the tomb. So yeah, you climb up once more from the fane into that ringed portion of the city, and picking your way back first to the west, then up that main boulevard once more to the north.
Actually, now that I think about it, sorry. One more thing I would have requested from her is she controls all of Omu, right? First,
As far as the snake people are concerned.
Okay. Are we able to have free passage through Omu without being hassled by the snake people? Obviously, we're heading there, but I don't want to be on the lookout for a snake person trying to charm me.
Yeah, as long as you're working toward Fenthaza's goals,
Okay.
you are essentially protected in that way.
Okay, cool. So, for once, Stratos is not airborne above us. He is just chilling with us then as we're walking.
Okay. Cool. So,
I am gonna change out some of my spells.
Yeah, I'm gonna flop some spells too.
alright. Good to know.
So let's get rid of it,
Must
get
be
rid
nice.
of Witch Bolt.
It is.
Get rid of Unseen Servant. I'm not gonna need that. And this. Alright, I think I'm good. Yeah, I think I'm good. Not this. Go with that. There we go. Now I'm good.
I'll just work an arrow for you when I'm done.
Yeah, I removed like basically all my spells that I had for specifically nuking people and set them up to more general use. So.
Okay. So. This is weird, the way this thing. Okay, whatever. I'm not gonna worry about it. So you head north up against the cliff wall that kind of hems in the city. And again, you return to this area that you guys. Let's see. Did you guys scout it in person, or was it just a Stratos run? I'm trying to remember.
No, I believe we went up there and checked it out, and we saw, because we went in and saw like the little alcoves and stuff, and we
Yeah.
made the joke of it being the sweet embrace of death looming there. And I think you tagged it "Sweet Embrace of Death." Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you return to this site at the cavern wall. There is still this like big stone obelisk out front, standing like 15 feet tall. draped with vines and black moss. Behind it, you see a dark passageway obscured by withered creepers. A second, smaller tunnel burrows into the base of the cliff to the east. That would be your tunnel of puzzle cube alcoves. Let's see.
Watch, we could have just put anything roughly the same size and shape of these cubes on each one of the pedestals and it would have opened.
Okay. Yeah, so that's what you see, just the two paths.
Well, I guess I'll grab the first puzzle cube out, and whichever one it is, I'll try to... Wasn't there like a little emblem above each one, or below each one, as to which god it was?
So, let's see. Yeah, so when any when any character carrying a puzzle cube enters the tunnel, the oil basin matching the cube's trickster god bursts into flame. So basically, as soon as somebody with one of these things walks in, it just fucking lights up. Like, put me here. Yeah.
I'm kind of
So
tempted to put it
it's-
somewhere else.
You could do that.
No, I'm not going to do that. I've seen what happens just touching one of these cubes the wrong way does. No. I will put it where it belongs.
All right. So it's easy enough. Like there's no real puzzling to be done over the puzzle cubes as things currently stand. Let's see. Yeah. So one thing you do notice as you are putting all of these things away. Yeah, as you put the 8th one in, which is like the last one that's currently exposed, there's like a sliding at the end of the hall, which reveals the 9th kind of platform and brazier and all of that. That one in particular is a statue of Unk, the flail snail.
Oh, okay.
And hanging from one of the many flail-like appendages of the flail snail, you can see that there is a golden pendant shaped like an eye.
Alright. I guess I'm gonna send Stratos over to take a look at the eye. Not touch it.
Okay.
Just look at it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna look through his
So-
eyes, look for arcane symbols, anything.
Okay. Yeah, make a, let's say Arcana check. That's fine.
Alright. So 14.
Okay. Yeah. I think with that, you might be able to make out a few familiar sigils kind of inscribed around the edge of the eye that would suggest some kind of divination magic.
Okay. So I'll relay that, and I'll say, well, it's magical. Do you guys want me to spend 10 minutes to find out what it is?
Well, sure. Why not?
Alright, so I'll spend 10 minutes, just plop down right where I am, ritualistically cast, and then touch it with Stratos, and I will cast Identify.
Okay.
Because I can actually do that, which is fucking awesome. Any spell of touch.
Yep. Okay. So you do that, and you gather that a character wearing this pendant, passing within a thing that has been assigned to trigger it, would guide said person toward a hidden secret.
Okay, so it's beneficial. It's not like a It's something that the wearer can see and nobody else really can.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything malicious about it.
Okay. And identifying would tell me that, right?
Unless the thing is specifically enchanted not to do that, like
Okay.
certain things we've seen in Critical Role kind of recently.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll.
It's not malicious unless it's very malicious.
Yeah. So I'll say, well, it doesn't seem malicious. You guys want me to slap it on and see? And I'll relay that it, relay what it does.
Sure, go for it.
All right, I'll throw it on.
Okay.
It's a little gaudy for me, but
Just big golden eye
Yeah,
around your
yeah.
neck. Okay. So you do that. Nothing is like immediately apparent. You just kind of put it on. And it is what it is.
okay. And then I guess I'm standing there with the cube in my hand. I'll just jam it in the final slot.
Okay. So you do that. Let's see if there's anything.
And what happens to the cubes? Do they dissolve or anything, or do they just sit there?
No, they just kind of sit there.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. So all of the things being tucked away where they belong. You emerge from the alcove hallway, and you see the the big like central path that seems to lead straight back from the obelisk. Nothing has really changed about it.
Shit. So you said there were two paths, one that's blocked off, right, and the other one that goes to the alcove.
Right. So as you approach, you would have seen the alcove spot for all your cubes, and then there's this path that leads basically straight north, like the way continue on the way that you were approaching it from the first place. And,
I'm gonna walk up and
you
touch
just
the
go right
wall.
in there.
At the end.
The wall of like that northern path kind of thing.
Yep, I'm gonna walk to the end of that wall.
Okay. So yeah, let's see what we got here. Yeah, a short tunnel ends at a slab of worked stone, whose edges are marked by relief carvings of grinning skulls.
Yeah.
4 lines engraved at the center of the slab cross one another to form a star. With both ends of each line marking the location of a cube-shaped cavity cut into the door. 8 cavities in all.
Oh, so we actually need those cubes. Alright, so I'll go back to the alcove room and, if the shit's still on fire, I'm going to... No, I don't have a spell to do anything. I'll say
I have Thorn Whip.
Yeah, okay, that works. So we need those cubes again.
I mean, I can just knock them off.
Yeah.
You can just like hit. I just knock it off with mace. Just doop, doop.
Just poking it.
Like we can get them out. We don't have to grab them with our finger.
That's fine. So we'll get them and, I guess, place them around the door.
Okay.
Sure.
There are several different ways we can get the cubes out without
Yeah.
getting our fingers off.
Surprisingly, that is like one spell I don't have if I don't have my Unseen Servant.
Okay. So, yeah, y'all just kind of head up and do the thing and put the cubes in the door.
Yep.
Okay. So you do that. You're just kind of plugging them away, and yeah, you slot one of them in, and suddenly a thing happens.
Dun, dun, dun.
You hear a grinding sound as another large stone block seems to be slowly descending behind you, blocking you into this area. You do have time to run out beneath it if you so choose, but you do need to make a decision. So what's everybody doing?
I'm staying in.
Okay.
I'll stay in.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'll also
move next to.
fix this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna move next to Sierne and just put my hand on her shoulder and get ready to do something if I need to.
Get ready
Oh,
to
you're,
throw
you're
her in the
casting. You're casting find traps.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Slowly descends. So I guess maybe you got like. I think maybe you could do that and still be able to move if it were a thing. Okay. Find traps. You sense the presence of any trap within range that's within line of sight. So. Okay. You cast a spell and like a block that's descending lights up, and then there are like little kind of glowy spots in the walls that seem to look like vents of sorts that begin to light up.
So like, get out of here.
Okay.
All right. Is she gonna make it
cool.
out?
Um,
Because if not, I can do a thing and make her and I both make it out. Like we can both make it out.
Yeah, I think like she'll be like the slow one at the very end who like just gets under the thing, but yeah, everybody gets out.
Okay. Cool.
You're good, and so this stone block just like thump, closes behind you as you come running out, and yeah, from the other side you can just hear. You can see like a faint vapor kind of leaking out in a couple of seams around the area.
Did you grab the cube?
Oh, wait, which... what are you talking about? The one...
Didn't you put a cube in the door?
Nobody said it.
Oh. So it's just gonna keep doing that forever.
Possible.
Cool. Let's go tell her that we broke the entrance.
Do I see any other traps?
The entire floor is a
So-
mimic.
In what I'm gonna consider a very generous interpretation of the word trap, you look around and you see peering down at you from above a trio of gargoyles whose faces look like old bearded men with horns whose faces are contorted in an eternal scream.
Those
Pleasant.
gargoyles. I don't think they're friendly.
Well, should we attack them? They're gonna come to
Hi.
life anyway.
Gargoyles,
well
are
be the
you going
first
to
hit in.
attack us?
They don't respond.
Are they upside down on the ceiling or like on a pedestal or something?
They're peering over the cliffside, so they're just kind of perched up there looking down at you guys.
Oh, it's the ones that are around the city.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Can I throw a sacred flame next to them and see if they react?
Yeah. Let's see.
Do I need to throw an attack to miss?
Sacred Flame's just a roll to save.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pop this up in another window so I can find the thing I'm trying to find. Okay.
I will make you do work. Mwahaha.
Yeah, so you throw an attack next to one of the gargoyles, and it doesn't respond.
Oh, okay. Well, do I see anything in here to give us a clue of
Well,
where to put these cubes?
there is more cliffside. There is a trio of gargoyles. There is an obelisk.
What about the obelisk?
What about the obelisk?
Is there anything on the obelisk?
Well, if you'd like to go check it out, there may very well be something.
I would like to look at this obelisk.
Okay. So approaching it. It is like very covered in vines and moss and stuff. Do you want to clear said stuff away?
Yes.
Okay. So clearing said stuff away exposes a message carved into the obelisk in common.
Hey, it's in common. That's
Yeah.
weird.
Here you go. Fear the night when the Forsaken One seizes death's mantle, and the seas dry up, and the dead rise, and I, Acererak the Eternal, reap the world of the living. Those who dare enter, take heed. The enemies oppose. One stands between them. In darkness it hides. Don the mask, or be seen. Speak no truth to the doomed child. The keys turn on the inside only.
That's ominous.
It's quite rude if it's saying that we can only get in from the inside.
You can only get in from the inside. That's like some Doctor Who / Pirates of the Caribbean kind of shit.
That's why I said it was rude.
Speak no truth to the doomed child is the weirdest thing.
So yeah, that's fun. Just out of curiosity, what's Lucius doing?
Well, I
Well,
was about to ask, can anyone make heads or tails of this?
maybe we have to either come back in the dark, or I'm gonna go back to the cube room where the little alcoves were. Is there like a square thing that they fit in, and does it look like it could turn?
Nope.
Oh, so it's just like a hole in the wall?
So we're talking about the alcove area, right? So
Yeah.
this was just like basically like little platforms or kind of pedestals, basically.
Okay, so there didn't fit like exactly into a hole or something.
No.
Okay.
Should we get that cube back that we left in there?
Can we?
We can get some picks and try and just break through that stone slab. And see if we can borrow some of their slaves and set them to that while we figure this puzzle out.
I don't want to borrow slaves.
No.
Fine, you know what? Let me see.
Okay, so as you guys are
Can we? Okay. Before we decide anything, can we finish exploring this room first?
So as that gets brought up, there is another grinding sound as the stone block that closed off the hallway gets pulled back up. And while there is still kind of a faintly visible haze of, I don't know, poison, acid, nastiness, the area does look inhabitable again. And you hear a loud clicking sound followed by a thump as any puzzle cubes in there get just kind of spat out onto the ground.
Wow, what a bunch of assholes! They just, it's like, it's the one where that game.
For giving up us ours.
This is like that game where you like you turn the timer and you have to put all the shapes in the thing or it just pops up.
Toggle?
Yes, this is that.
What? That sounds like a toddler's game.
I mean,
Put all
it's
the shapes in the thing.
it's more advanced than that. It's like, yeah, check it out. Like, Google it.
It definitely
I
does
don't.
sound like
I
a
can't.
toddler's
'Cause I
game.
don't know what the game is.
I mean, it is for
true.
younger kids, but it's challenging if you're slow. Like,
He says, speaking from experience.
I feel like that part didn't have to be included.
If you're real dumb.
I didn't mean slow like that. I mean,
Okay,
the
I'm
actual
not
point of the game is to put them in fast. So if you're either not very dexterous or you can't think very fast, it's not a game for you.
You literally mean physically.
Yes.
slow.
Yeah, that's definitely not how that sounded.
No, I was meaning literally physically slow because
Okay.
you spin the timer and you put all the shapes in, and if you don't do it in the time, it pops up and just throws them all over into your face.
Okay.
It's yeah.
Yep. Anyway.
Like, I know what you meant, but it wasn't.
I know that.
You're a fucking idiot.
I mean, it actually can be hard if you are a fucking idiot too, but that was not at all my point.
But like saying it's hard if you're an idiot sounds so much less horrible than saying if.
If you're
hard
slow?
If you're a bit slow.
Well, no, I just said if you're slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds
Oh, I know.
completely different.
I know. There's. Welcome to the English language, where things that literally mean slow don't mean slow.
Yeah.
So.
I'm so mad because like I had a point that I was about to bring up and then you were like it's slow and now I do not
Oh.
remember.
I
what it was
apologize.
all.
I apologize. Okay. Anyway.
Just like South Park, I had to kiss Jesse Jackson's ass now.
Ooh, what?
I mean, whatever you think will get it done, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so
So-
let's just run right back in that room.
I think I'm gonna take the Sirenny approach and look around first.
Okay, Lucius, what would you like to look around at?
So she was looking at the obelisk, and I would have, I guess, walked out with her. Is there anything else that has writing,
So,
symbols?
if you walked out with Sirenny and you got reasonably close to the obelisk, you would have felt a little tug around your neck.
All
as-
right.
The golden eye kind of like levitates a little bit and pulls you off toward a seemingly just normal ass portion of the cliffside.
All right. So you guys see the front of my robes lift up because I've got this gaudy ass necklace tucked underneath, and I'm like, I think I found it, guys, and it's just like pulling me.
I'll
I-
grab the other cube and follow.
Okay. So you do that.
So, and I'll
uh,
fish it out of my robe so it's not like dragging me, but yeah, and I'll
Okay.
just follow it.
So yeah, you were pulled to an area of heavy undergrowth. That you probably unless you had really been combing the cliffside, it would have been hard to pick out. But now, being kind of tugged in that direction, you do see that this undergrowth is obscuring an archway in the cliff face. Stone skulls peer down from the vicinity, old bones littering the threshold. As the light strikes the entrance, a swarm of bats screeches out from within.
Ah, my type of
Hiss
place.
tries to catch one.
Okay. Do you want to like grab it or spear chuck it, or what are you thinking?
Like, grab it. Like with my fists.
Okay. Cool. Make a strength check. Okay. Let's see what the bat's got here. The bat takes you for a ride. Meaning it got like. Okay, so it has a negative modifier, but still, it beat you by like 5. So.
He grabs onto the bat and it just takes off flying.
Hi.
Very
See you later.
reminiscent of our first time eating Bag of Nails.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. So yeah, that's the thing. Like you grab on and it just keeps flying and probably drags you along the ground for a little bit. But yeah, you don't catch yourself a bat, unfortunately.
Not for you.
Hiss.
No bat for you. Okay.
I am hissad.
So you see a similar door to the one in which you had begun placing cubes in the gas chamber room. It's a slab of worked stone that blocks the overgrown tunnel some 20 feet from the entrance. Grinning skulls mark the edge of the slab, in the center of which are 9 cube-shaped cavities arranged in 3 rows of 3.
Alright, I'm gonna call Sirenny in first since she can see traps. Apparently.
How long can I see traps for?
It's instantaneous, actually.
Oh, so it just all lights up.
Yeah. So I saw traps, and it's okay now.
Yep.
Okay.
No more traps.
Well, alright, first I will look around the room and see if there's any inscription of anything.
Okay. Looking about, you do not see any inscriptions.
Alright. Is the necklace still, like, tugging me, or has it kind of calmed down?
Wait, can you give me a description of this room again? Sorry.
So it's not so much a room as a hallway. It's about 10 feet wide, 20 feet long, leading up to this door that has skulls carved into it, and basically a 3x3 grid into which you are apparently supposed to put these puzzle cubes.
Okay, and no hints about what order?
I mean, nothing immediately around.
I'll pick up the flail snail one and put it in the center spot.
Okay. So you do that. Seems fine.
Are these just pedestals, too? They're not, like...
There are
Mm.
slots in the door.
Oh, okay. All about the same size?
All puzzle cube sized.
Alright. Yeah, I guess I'll just walk up and shove the one that was the actual word puzzle. I'm gonna shove that one in the upper left.
The one that was the actual.
It was like the line 8 boar friend, boar vulture is lucky to be alive.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be Wongo's. Cube,
Yeah,
the,
that one.
The Sioux monster,
Mm-hmm.
the like, vampire monkey looking thing.
Yes.
All right. Cool. Nothing happens. I mean, nothing bad or good, I guess.
Okay.
I'll ask Lucius if any of them, if Wongo has any enemies, if any of these is enemy. I don't recall.
So that was about Wongo's friend, correct?
The puzzle in Wongo's temple was about his friend. Yes.
But
All
does he
right.
have enemies? Regardless of that. Do any of what do we know about them liking each other or not liking each other?
Moa. So what? Who is Moa? Moa was the snake. Yeah.
Yes.
So Moa was the one that betrayed Wongo, and so I would say Moa is probably Wongo's enemy.
Okay.
Okay, I'll grab that cube, stick it in the bottom right, or whichever one's opposite.
Yeah,
Yes, okay.
it's top left. So you do bottom right.
Okay. So you do that, and the second you slot in the Moa cube, you do see the perimeters of each of them glow a faint white.
Hey, I think we're right. Maybe. It's not red and it's not blowing up. So
And that's what matters.
yeah. So those two do, or is it all three of them that we have?
Yeah, I guess it would probably just be the two that would glow.
All right, I'll pull the middle one out then, and let's see who was between Wongo and
Let's just dig another one in another spot, besides the middle.
Better to be Wongo's friend than his enemy. Who did we determine was Wongo's friend too? Because I know we like brute forced it, but it was.
Let's have a peek at Wongo's shrine. Do-do-do-do-do.
Sorry, this is just way too much for us to remember.
I mean, yeah, it's legit. Like I wouldn't have.
I've got a lot of notes too.
Yeah.
So. And you shoved the Unk one in the center, correct?
Yeah.
He
Okay.
did, yeah.
So I'm going to pull that one out, and I'm going to set it to the side, and I'm going to say, Unk urges us to contrast all options before acting. So let's put him in last.
That one sounds like the thing that hides in the darkness. It stands between them all.
Possibly.
Also, just for reference, when you were at Wongo's, his friend was the vulture.
His friend was the vulture. All right.
Well, we don't really have a vulture, so.
That you do not.
Shoot.
So,
I think we should just pick one.
would you all like a recap of the Legend of the Nine Gods?
Yeah.
Okay. So, long ago, the god Ubtao hardened his heart and vowed to weep for the people of Omu no longer. The rains stopped, the jungle withered and died, and death swept through Omu. One morning, a wise Zorbo emerged from her hollow tree and spoke to the dying Omuans. To convince Ubtao of their worth, she decided to cook him a stew made from all their good qualities. Catching such virtues wouldn't be easy, so she asked a wily Almiraj to help her. The Almiraj...
What is the El Mirage? That's another.
Bunnycorn.
The bunny.
Oh yes. Okay.
The Almiraj snuck recklessness in the pot, which she saw as a virtue, and Ubtao spat out the stew when he tasted it. From that day on, Obalaka the Zorbo and Ijin the Almiraj became terrible enemies.
So I'm gonna shove one in the upper right and one in the bottom left.
Okay, so we are opposing the Zorbo and the Almiraj.
Yes, as well as the other two that are in there.
Okay. Yes, so those glow similarly to the first two.
Okay. Cool.
Continued.
Yes.
At noon, a brave Commodon hopped down from her rock. She saw the evil in the Omuans' hearts and decided to lance it like a troublesome boil. The Commodon fashioned a holy spear, but she left it by the riverbank, and a crafty Grung stole it. In her rage, Shigambi the Commodon forgot all about the Omuans and chased Nang Nang the Grung forever across the sky.
So, slot those two opposite each other.
Yep.
Okay.
And do
When
those light up?
evening came, they do.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
We're down to 3.
you are. When evening came, a wily Iblis stepped from his reed hut. That'd be the
Crane?
human-eating bird things.
Yeah.
He didn't like the Omuans, but without them, he'd have no one to play his tricks on. The Iblis sent a marsh frog to reason with Ubtao, but the frog was angry and decided to wrestle the god instead. This amused Ubtao, so he gave the frog tentacles to make it stronger. When Kubazan the frog-hemoth returned to Papazatl the Iblis, he chased Papazatl into the swamp with his new tentacles.
All right, those two go in the last 2 slots on the
Well, I
opposite of
hate
each
that.
other. And then who is the last
Okay.
one?
Unk, the flail snail.
Oh, so he goes back in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually works out because doesn't he? Yeah, he urges you to contrast all options. So he's the last one. Slot it in and boom. And then it explodes and TPKs us all. GG.
The end.
Yep.
Okay. So, you do the thing. All of the cubes glow in their places. And let's see. All right. The cubes all flare once more with light, then disappear. Growling like an angry beast, the stone slab begins to slide up into the ceiling. And in so doing, it reveals another 20-foot stretch of hallway. This one not covered in grass and foliage, but carved into the mountainside or the cliffside. And in here, you see, another slab blocks the hallway, and there is an iron lever set into the door's surface, with a graven stone skull leering down from above.
Huh.
Can I visually search for traps first before magically searching for traps?
You can certainly do that.
I would like
Make
to
a
help.
perception check.
Yeah, I want to help her.
Okay, so perception with advantage.
14. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't trust these skulls because that door had skulls on it, didn't it? Before it tried to kill us.
Well, yeah, but so did the door that just opened without issue.
So it's 50-50 on whether or not it tries to kill us.
Pretty
I
much.
guess, yeah. You'll probably get used to those odds. Okay. So looking about, I think you don't really find anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
Well, they're doing.
That's it.
Okay, while she's doing that, I'll look around and see if there's any writing anywhere.
Nope. No writing.
I'm good. I'm glad there's no writing on the walls.
If I walk in, does my necklace go crazy again?
Nope.
Okay. We didn't get a mask, did we?
Nope.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Um,
Are there any dark
There's a lever.
corners? Too.
There are no especially dark corners.
Okay.
Who wants to just pull the lever?
Between them.
No, that was Unk.
Yeah, yeah. So.
Wait, is Thor gonna go and pull the lever, or is he just making a suggestion?
Yeah, I'm just asking since there doesn't seem to be anything else yet. If we want to just pull the lever.
How far from the door, like from the door that just rose, how far away is that
So
lever?
between the two doors is 20 feet.
Alright, I'll say everybody get out, I'll pull it. Worst case scenario, I'll Misty step out.
Why don't you just pull it with your mage hand?
I don't have Mage Hand.
What about
What about one of your
unseen
servants?
I don't have that spell either. I honestly didn't think I was going to need
Do
it.
you not have mage hand? Do you
We-
have mage hand?
No, I have no Mage Hand.
Maybe I'm thinking of your other character.
Yeah.
He
Kinda wish I
always
don't
has
have
mage hand. Except when he doesn't.
I mean, I have a familiar here instead of Mage Hand, but
Why don't you make your familiar pull it?
I don't know that Stratos can put enough weight behind a lever to pull.
Stratos is.
So anyway, I guess I'll walk in and pull the lever.
Okay.
Well, I am gonna walk
Once
out.
once everybody gets out.
Yeah.
I'll wait.
Okay.
He got mad because I like argued against it, so he's like, "All right, fuck it, you can stay in here."
No, I'm just gonna walk up and wait, and then once everybody's out, I'll pull it.
Okay, so Lucius, you wait for everybody to get out, and then you start walking toward the lever. And when you get to the halfway point, the skull on this lever opens its mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and a skeletal hand holding a crystal hourglass-style timer emerges from within. With a click, the timer rotates, and sand starts to trickle into the lower globe.
Okay.
10, 9,
Yep. I'm just gonna turn a Misty Step out,
7.
and I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna get the fuck out of the vicinity.
Wait. Put Stratos in there so we see what happens.
Nope, I didn't do that. I'm gone. So I'm gonna keep it like I'm not gonna run completely out, but I'm gonna get, the hell out of that room.
I see him running and follow.
So I'm just gonna get probably about another 30 or 40 feet, and then I'll turn and
you
watch.
run past me.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Like, I feel like you could hear me. You're not like, 500 feet away.
Right, but I'm
You
not.
still hear me.
for clarity, is everybody just like full on running out of like every reach of this hallway and
No.
just out into the?
I'm Misty stepping out of that room, going another 30 feet, and then I'm gonna turn around and just stand there and see what's going on.
Okay.
I'm in the first section. I'm just not in the second section. Like,
Okay.
I'm not fleeing. I'm standing where I was standing 3 seconds ago.
Cool. So, as you all watch from your various perspectives, the second door with the lever and the skull and the hand coming out of the skull and the hourglass runs down and retracts into the mouth of the skull and the lever. And then the lever retracts into the door. And then the door slides down into a groove in the ground, revealing a hallway beyond. Good
Cool.
job.
Yep. All right, it's good.
By
So-
not opening the door, we defeated it.
Yep.
Exactly.
I mean,
As
time
I
is at
mentioned
our
to you guys how much of an asshole Acererak is.
time is on our side. We can literally just take our time with these and not do anything careless. That's all you got to do.
Take our time by fleeing as fast as we can out all the way through the entire area.
Just constantly backpedal and yell, "Cheese it!"
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. So beyond the now recessed door, you see a moss-covered corridor extending beyond the second door. Tree roots hang from the sagging ceiling, and the air reeks of rot and damp. Ahead, a bas-relief carving.
Oh, okay.
Okay, what?
A head, not a head.
Ah, yes. Forward from your location, A bas-relief carving of a bearded devil's face adorns the wall at a T-shaped intersection. The devil's open mouth is a well of utter darkness.
Alright. Anything else in this room?
So again, not so much a room as a hallway. Just 10 foot wide and goes on for about 40 feet before turning into a T intersection with the face and the darkness in its mouth thing.
Stratos goes
at
straight
the-
into the mouth.
Alright.
Right into the darkness. And I'm going to be looking through him the entire time.
Okay. So, yeah, you,
And how big is this
Sense Stratos.
darkness, too? Sorry.
well, the face is about, we'll say, like 8 feet wide. So, the mouth on an 8 foot wide face?
Big enough to crawl into, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so sending Stratos down in there.
Okay.
And he has blind sense, so fuck your darkness.
Mhm.
So.
Alright. So, remind me of Stratos' AC?
His AC is not good. I think 12? Something like that. 14. Never mind, he's a tanky boy compared to me.
Okay. Well, he gets hit by something for 23 points of psychic damage.
Alright, so Stratos is gone, and I go, oh, well, alright, and I'm
Boy.
going
Don't go in
to let me see what this actually is. It that I can see? Yeah, I can't see it. Okay. Well, you just see me stop, cast a spell, and I'm going to cast a second level flaming sphere and just roll it into that. And it's just I'm gonna just roll it around until I hit something. Because
Okay.
you killed my fucking snake.
Yeah.
So.
Alright.
He gets so mad when you kill him.
Yep.
Alright. Cool. So you hear kind of an almost otherworldly combination of like a whisper and a yell as something gets hit back there.
Okay.
And yeah, so that's a thing that happens. And then takes a moment, but not too long after that. I guess my next question is like where would Lucius be in relation to all of this stuff?
Oh, I'm gonna
Is
go
he-
right next to the relief, and I'm just be standing there, kind of
Oh,
directing
okay.
it.
Okay, cool. So in that case, a shadowy form emerges from the relief, just like kind of ghosting through the face, and reaches out. It's a shadowy. It is a form made of shadow, with wings and claws and horns. And
Okay.
It reaches out for you, Lucius, and it is at that spot where we will pick up next week.
Okay.
I was gonna say it's a Balrog, but then you said it had wings. Balrogs don't have wings.
Nope. No Balrog for you.
Walk into dungeon, first
Well, I
thing you
think-
find.
Balrog.
Balrog.
So you know this dungeon's probably not for us.
Thor would have been the most angry.
Run away.
Yep.
I know not to mess with them.
Yeah, so hey, you're in the tomb.
Did
Sweet.
we win?
You're in Tom B of Anal Nation.
Yep. We are inside Tom B of Anal Nation.
Kinky.
Yes.
The way you said
Wrong
Tom
entrance. Wrong
B
entrance.
made it sound like one word.
Yep.
Like Tom B.
Tom B.
And that somehow was so much worse.
Yep. Tom B of Anal Nation. The best.
It's like Gumby.
Yes.
Yeah, except anal version.
Yeah, very anal. It's a nation of anal people.
Flexibility. Anyway.
Yep.
I get it because of anal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Anal. Gotcha.
I don't know why that was so much more awkward, but it was.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Walking.
Yep.
Right. Great.
Cool.